Hi, I'm Russell Lamb, founder of Eco Down Under. I grew up around the ocean, been in nature all my life. I trained as a chartered accountant originally before starting my own business in textiles. 25 years ago when we started, we could see that everyone was going to China buying cheap synthetics and polyester, and it just didn't feel right. So we felt that sustainability was really the only way forward. That's where we came up with the idea for Eco Down Under. We wanted to be earth friendly and we wanted to support Australian manufacturing. We set ourselves a minimum standard of no synthetics, no plastics, no harsh chemicals, and certainly no single-use packaging. The standard now is that nothing should go out the door that cannot be returned to the earth and do no harm. When we started, there really wasn't a lot of viable options for the things we wanted to change. We took quite a while. We tried to be eco-perfect to start with, and we decided eventually that we shouldn't let perfect get in the way of good. Our first product was, we found naturally coloured cotton. And I remember talking to an anthropologist. They'd found naturally coloured cotton seeds in some mummy wrappings, and cotton used to grow in different colours in the Amazon, and what they'd done is they'd commercialised it. And so our first products were, we got naturally coloured cotton, and we had to send some of it to the other side of the world to get processed. And after about 3 years, we finally had our first eco-friendly sheets and towels. The only problem with naturally coloured cotton is that it fades in the sun, and then the colour comes back when you wash it, and nobody liked the colour. So it's all part of the journey. We had a lot of things we tried and failed. We tried to grow our own organic cotton. We tried paper packaging on sheets. We tried biodegradable PVA. The only trouble was if people bought our sheets and walked out the door and it was raining, it ended up like a Swiss cheese. So we had to try again. But ultimately now we've got to the point where all of our products are sustainable, and what we'd like to see happen now is what we're doing is normal and more businesses do the same thing. It's much better now. There's been a lot of good things happen over the last 25 years since we started the business. There's certainly a lot less harsh chemicals used on growing cotton. There is a lot more organic cotton available. The kind of dyes that were being used to dye fabrics and things were just horrendous. Now, basically any business in India, for example, that wants to sell into Europe has got to meet a lot higher standards. And I know a lot of the things that we work with our suppliers in India to get them certifications, to get them doing things better, they've now gone to really an eco-friendly business model and are selling heaps of stuff into Europe and into North America on the back of what we've developed with them. So while our change directly has been small, we've been a catalyst for a lot wider change. Unfortunately, probably the area that there's been the most lack of change is really in plastics. There's still far too much plastic packaging out there, far too much single-use plastic. And the big one in our area is polyester, which is just, it's plastic fibres. It breaks up into literally billions and billions of smaller and smaller pieces. The polyester or plastic fibre in one king-size polyester quilt would stretch from Melbourne to Brisbane. And it's just wrong. It's got to stop. This is a marine reserve. It's supposed to be a pristine beach, and everywhere you look, there's microplastics, small pieces of plastic that are just going to break up into smaller and smaller pieces, and we're adding to it every single day. Plastic breaks up into smaller and smaller particles until it's light enough to be carried in the air. Every breath we take, we consume on average about 16 microparticles of plastic. Microplastics have even been found in the clouds. A lot of Australians are still sleeping on polyester. Apart from not being very good for the environment and not very comfortable to sleep on, there's much better options. We can have alpaca wool, we can have Australian wool, we can have cotton, and we can have duck down and The top of the range is Hungarian goose down. They're all natural, and at their end of their useful lives, they can all be returned to the earth and do no harm. The simple reality is that 20 years ago, 15% of plastic was being recovered for recycling. Now it's 13%. With all of the things that people have been talking about and doing for 20 years, we've made absolutely no improvement. This is crap. We need company responsibility for all plastic. Until the people who make the plastic start paying for how it gets treated at the other end, we're not going to get meaningful change.